tribes of Israel scattered abroad. Shalom.
Shalom.
Y'all could do better than that. Shalom, Israel. All praises to the Most High. Good to see everybody again. Everybody in-house, everybody online, Facebook, social media platforms. Please share the lesson. Tonight's lesson is called A City of Truth. A City of Truth. My name is Bana Yabanya Asharale. To my left is
Deacon Kanash.
Deacon Kanash. And again, welcome to room 144. All right, the title of today's lesson, once again, is A City of Truth. I got a question I want to pose, all right? Before we start, we live in LA, okay, but then you got Chicago, you got Washington, D.C., you got New York City, you got Atlanta, you got Detroit. Are these cities of truth? Can anybody help me out? Are these cities of truth? Are we living in a city of truth right here in Babylon? Because a lot of our people are still comfortable. They act like it's a city of truth because they love Babylon and they love what Babylon has to offer. And they don't want to go nowhere because they're comfortable. All right? But what does the scripture say about that as far as us Israelites that are keeping the commandments? It tells us that this place is not our rest. So that means don't get comfortable here, okay? So, you know, we got to still live life, all right? You got to use wisdom and everything, but don't get comfortable here because this place it'll do you dirty, all right? So, with that being said, what is the city of truth? Somebody help me out. Say it again. Israel, right? Where do we want to go back to when the Most High delivers us from this place? We want to go back home. Israel, Jerusalem, all right, the place where we're from. So that's what we're dealing with. Get Zechariah chapter 8. Zechariah chapter 8. And we're going to read verses 1 through 6. Jerusalem, in the Hebrew, is called Yerushalayim. All right? That's what we want. All right? We're thinking about that desired city that the scriptures always talks about. All right? It's desolate right now because our enemies are there. But guess what? When we get redeemed, it won't be desolate anymore. Okay? It's going to be thriving in spirit. Okay? It's going to be thriving on all levels. Okay? We're going to see green trees, green grass, okay? Everything is going to reflect the Garden of Eden, so to speak, okay? So that's what we're looking at. We're looking forward to a city of truth. Zechariah chapter 8.
Let me get it, hold on.
And we're going to read
what verse?
1 through 6.
Zechariah chapter 8, verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord of hosts came to me, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury.
Why would the Most High be jealous for Zion? All right, because in this context right here, it's talking about the people and not necessarily the place or the location. Why is the Most High jealous over us? Because we're married to the Most High. Okay, we have a union and a relationship with the Most High as his chosen people. So that's why he's jealous over us. He's jealous when you go out and start dabbling in other philosophies, religions, and ideologies. All right, does that make sense? Of course, all right? So just like a regular marriage union between a man and a woman, hey, sometimes that jealousy, you know, starts to seep out. It's a natural thing, but don't let it overwhelm you or overtake you. But the Most High is zealous for his people. All right? Verse 3.
Verse 3. Thus saith the Lord, I am returned unto Zion, and I will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth.
A what?
A city of truth.
Uh-huh.
And the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain.
A city of truth, Zion, right? The mountain of the Most High, meaning the kingdom, okay? This mountain is talking about the kingdom that is to come, all right? That's what we're looking forward to, verse 4.
Verse 4, thus saith the Lord of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age.
Look, I'm looking at the elders back there, okay? We got leaders, elders, bishops, all right? All back there. So when I look at this verse and then I see these renowned men, all right? All of you. You see what I'm saying? Brothers moving in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It reminds me because I always think about what Jerusalem will be like. Do you guys ever think about that? What your homeland will be like? Can you kind of place yourself there? You know what I mean? Maybe go back 2,000 years. I contemplate and think about and meditate on these things, all right? And I'm looking forward, most high willing, all right? But it says, the old men and women will dwell in the streets, and every man with his staff in his hand. And we see a lot of brothers nowadays, they walking with a staff. Not because they handicap or cripple, but because that's what we do, all right? That's a part of our heritage and our culture. Go ahead and read, all right?
Verse 5, and the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof.
Right, because right now in Babylon, look, in the generation where I was raised, that's what we used to do. You used to go outside during the summertime, leave out early in the morning, and used to come back when the street lights turned on all day. You didn't have to worry about kidnappings. You didn't have to worry about all these wicked things that are going on nowadays. But the time that we're living in now, you can't do that. But in the city of truth coming up, this kingdom that we're waiting for, right, that we're enduring to the end for, it says the boys and the girls are going to be playing in the streets, and we aren't going to have a worry. Go ahead.
Verse 6, thus saith the Lord of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, should it also be marvelous in mine eyes, saith the Lord of hosts.
So the Most High said, look, it's marvelous to my people, right? Because we're talking about it. We're thinking about it. It's a desire. We're lusting after going home, all right? This is a good lust, not a bad lust, all right? All right, because lust means desire, all right? So let's not get that twisted. But we're lusting after righteousness. We're lusting to get back to the homeland and get out of this hellhole called Babylon, right? So the Most High said, look, if it be marvelous in the remnant, to the remnant of my people, he said, how much more marvelous will it be to me, all right? Because that's what he wants for us, all right? So moving on, let's get the next precept. Go to Isaiah chapter 11. Isaiah chapter 11. And we're going to start at verse 1. We're going to read all the way down to verse 9. After you read verse 1, I got another precept for you, though.
Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 1, and there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
Right, a rod out of the stem of Jesse, right? Jesse is whose father? That's King David's father, right? And then we know, according to the bloodline, all the way down, filtered down, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, okay, we know that Christ has the same lineage or bloodline as well, right? All right, he's from the lineage of David as well. Continue? No. Let's stop there. Read 1 again. Read 1 again.
And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
So everybody knows about trees, right? We're all familiar with trees. So trees have, they have branches, they have stems, all right? They got a tree trunk and things of that nature. So it said, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. So what branch is that? Let's see. Let's get a precept and see what branch that is or who that branch is. Let's go to Zechariah 6. Zechariah chapter 6, and we're going to read 12 and 13. Does anybody have an idea of who that branch is? Man, you already on point. Yahweh Shai. All right? Clap it up for Yahweh Shai. All praises to the Most High. He's that branch, okay?
Zechariah chapter 6 and verse 13. Even he shall build.
Can you read 12 out? Salakia.
Verse 12. And speak unto him, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, Behold, the man whose name is the branch,
What's your Yahushua name?
whose name is the branch,
Uh-huh.
and he shall grow up out of his place, and he shall build the temple of the Lord. Verse 13, even he shall build the temple of the Lord, and he shall bear the glory, and shall sit and rule upon his throne, and he shall be a priest upon his throne, and the counsel of peace shall be between them both.
The counsel of peace between the Most High and his son Yahushua, right? So this is the branch that we're dealing with, all right? The same branch that connects us to the Most High is his son Yahushua, right? And then we're branches that connect to each other, all right? We're stems or branches of Yahushua, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's get one more. Go to Isaiah 4 and 2. Isaiah 4 and 2. We're going to read down to verse 6.
Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 2. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel.
Right. The branch of the Most High will be beautiful and glorious, the fruit of the earth. We're the fruit of the earth, okay? We are the best pickings that the Most High put out there, all right? So when you see a fruit on a tree and it's very, very ripe, would you go ahead and pick some fruit that's been tampered with, or fruit that has wormholes in it and things of that nature? No, you're going to put the best fruit in your basket. So that's what the Most High did. But it said, and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. So when we're dealing with this city of truth and wanting to go back home, it says that it's going to be beautiful. That's what the word comely means, for them that are escaped of Israel, meaning escaped or delivered from this captivity that we're in right now. Go ahead, verse 3.
Verse 3, and it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning.
Right, so we see that the daughters of Zion, whatever they have going on is not of the Most High, the filth, the impurities, the sin, the iniquity, the secret sins. Look, the Most High said, I'm going to purge it with judgment, and I'm going to purge it with fire. Why? What is fire? What does fire do? Fire is a cleaning agent, right? Right? So what is this? What is Babylon going to be destroyed with? Fire. So before our kingdom comes, this place has to go up in flames according to the scripture. All right? But our women are going to be in the right mindset. They're going to be in the spirit, all right? They're not going to be talking back to their husbands. They're not going to be, in question about leadership and things of this nature. They're going to be with the program and roll with the punches. All praises to the Most High. Real talk. All right? And he's quenching our women right now. And he's quenching the men as well. I don't want to pick on the ladies. He's doing us as well. But in context, the Most High is dealing with you guys right now, all right? Read verse 5, right?
Verse 5, and the Lord will create upon every dwelling place of Mountain Zion and upon her assemblies a cloud and a smoke by day and the shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense.
So the same way that he took care of us in the wilderness, all right, led us by that cloud in the daytime and that fire by night, those chariots, all right, the Holy Spirit, guess what? It's going to be the same thing back in the homeland, back in the city of truth, all right? But we're not going to have to be worried about any wickedness. So it's going to be a marvelous time. Read verse 6, all right?
Verse 6, and there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and for a place of refuge, and for a covert from the storm, from rain.
So we're going to have that spiritual covering all the time, all right? From the heat, from the sun, whatever, all right? Because guess what? At that time, we're going to be in peace. It's going to be an eternal Shabbat, an eternal rest. So that's what we're dealing with. Now let's go back to Isaiah 11, all right? And we're going to pick up at verse 2. So I just wanted to expound on a branch, all right?
Isaiah chapter 11 And verse 2, and the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord. And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears.
Right, so we know that branch has already been described, precept upon precept, dealing with Yahushua, the Son of the Most High, all right, Christ the Anointed. And then in verse 2 and 3, what were we dealing with? We were dealing with the attributes of Yahushua, but there are also attributes of those who have the Holy Spirit as well, right? We have those same attributes, all right? Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, counsel, might, and the fear of the Most High. We have that as well, right? Or you wouldn't be here, okay? Verse 4, go on.
Verse 4, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and prove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins.
So how many women are familiar with a girdle? All right. Is this talking about a natural physical girdle, or is this talking about a spiritual girdle? All right. Because he said the girdle of his loins and the faithfulness of the girdle of his reins. All right, so you're dealing with righteousness and faithfulness, which are two spiritual attributes. All right, so the Most High also deals with how we need to gird up our loins in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10 through 20. All right, when you're dealing with putting on the whole armor of the Most High. All right, breastplate of righteousness, things of that nature. So we got to be burdened and packed with this law. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it at the forefront of our mind and our thoughts. Read on.
Verse 6, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid.
So let's stop right there. This is what's going to happen in the city of truth. Because if you go to any place of wilderness or a zoo or things of that nature, you won't see this right here. Verse 6 said, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb. Do you see that now anywhere? What'll happen if I put a wolf and a lamb in the same room? Somebody going to get destroyed, right? It's going to be a nice meal for the wolf. The lamb is going to get destroyed, right? But it says in the city of truth, they're going to dwell together, all right? And then it also said the leopard shall lie down with the kid. So what is the kid? The kid is a young goat, all right? So it's going to be a spirit of unity in the kingdom, all right? We don't have to worry about the hunter hunting the prey and things of that nature, okay? Go ahead, Art.
The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them.
See, and that's a cold situation. It's the calf, which is a male bull or a bullock, all right, and the young lion. Excuse me, I got to switch mics. So, yeah, verse 6 says, also the calf and the young lion, all right? That's not a match right there, all right? Because normally a lion would tear a calf or a male bullock to pieces. But then it said the fatling, which is a young lamb, okay, and a little child shall lead them all. All right? So, you know, most importantly, who will put their young daughter or a son in a cage with these animals? Nobody, all right? But in the kingdom, this is what we're going to see. All right? Give me verse 7.
Verse 7, and the cow and the bear shall feed. Their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox.
Read on.
Read on. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall be put his hand on the cockatrice den.
Right, so the suckling child, which is a young child, a baby, male or female, it says shall play on the hole of an asp. How many people know what an asp is? It's a venomous snake, All right? So, for instance, we're going to Tabernacles in a few weeks, right? If you saw a hole and you know a snake was coming, we would tell our children, hey, move away. That's dangerous, all right? But our kids are going to be able to play with all these different animals, all right? That's how in unison we are going to be in the kingdom, okay? And then it says, and the weaned child will be able to put his hand on the cockatrice den. So a cockatrice is something like a serpent, okay? That's specifically, it's like a dragon. I'll put it like that, all right? So read verse 9 for me.
Verse 9, they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea.
Cold verse. It says, nothing is going to hurt or destroy in my holy mountain, okay? The word mountain means kingdom. So in this kingdom to come, all right, the city of truth, the Most High says there's not going to be any contention with us as the children of Israel. Even the other nations that we're going to be ruling over, they're not going to even have any contention with what we're doing. Because if they did, we will be able to put them to death, according to the Bible. But even the prey and the what's the opposite of prey?
Predator.
The prey and the predator will be joined and in unison. All right. So and then it says for the earth, because the kingdom is going to be on the earth. All right. And it says it shall be full of the knowledge of the Most High. All right. And you'll see how it's going to be full of the knowledge of the Most High. And then it says as the waters cover the sea. So I got a question to ask pertaining to the earth. Is there more land or is there more water? There's more water. So as much as the water covers the earth, that's how the knowledge of the Most High is going to go forth in the kingdom, okay? So that's what we're going to be surrounded in righteousness, all right? All praises to the Most High. So let's get the next precept. Next precept, let's go to Micah chapter 4. Micah chapter 4. The mountain of the Lord is the city of truth, all right? The kingdom of the Most High Yahweh is indeed the city of truth. So let me get Micah 4. We're going to read 1 through 4, okay?
Micah chapter 4 and verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it.
And people shall flow unto it, all right? Read.
And many nations shall come.
Read that part again.
And many nations shall come.
Why? Because what is rulership if you don't have subjects to rule over? Many nations shall come, right? Nations means peoples or races, all right? Go ahead.
And say, come, and let us go up to the mount of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
Right. So by default, we see what's going to be taught to these other nations that flow unto this mountain. Our law, statutes, and commandments. All right? Because they don't want to get it now, but they're going to eventually get it later. Okay? Because the Most High, through the power of his son Yahushua, he's going to rule with a rod of iron, okay? And they're going to get their back beat in if they don't follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, okay? Go ahead and continue, King.
Verse 3. And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off.
Right, because you got to understand, we're dealing with the whole earth, all right? We're not just going to be ruling one country or one continent. All right, imagine that, because the Israelites are going to be the only nation that have spiritual bodies that are going to be able to move across the earth like that. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to have to get in a car or catch an airplane or a train and things of that nature or a boat. We're going to have spiritual bodies. The other nations will not have spiritual bodies. So imagine that. That's what we're dealing with. All right. So you might be able to. You might be able to, in Pasadena, some Moabites over there breaking the Sabbath, me and Nasha in Jerusalem, and we might just zap over there real quick. We might just teleport real quick and beat they back in. You know what I'm saying? Have them put on their fringes real quick. You know what I'm saying? Dispose of all the pork they eating. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're dealing with. We're going to rule with a rod of iron, okay? And we're going to be a government under Yahushua. Go ahead.
And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
So it's not going to be any war. Everything is going to be established. The head order is going to be established, okay? Not only from the Most High, Yahushua, man to woman to child, but the pecking order of where the nation should be. Us being back at the top. You see what I'm saying? Where we belong. All praises to the Most High, all right? And the other nations beneath us, man. But right now, it's a role reversal because we've been disobedient to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So after we serve out this punishment, Most High willing, we look forward to ruling over these nations, man. That would be a blessing. So that was verse 4, Rock?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read verse 4 for me.
Verse 4. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts hath spoken it.
So eventually we're going to read verse 5, but I need the precept and break down verse 4, because verse 4 is deep. It said, but they, meaning the other nations, shall sit every man under his vine. Okay? So we're going to see who that vine is according to the Bible. All right? And then under his fig tree. All right? So let's go to John 15. St. John, chapter 15, and we're going to read 1 through 5. All right? Because you got to realize that they're going to be elect men that are going to be ruling under Yahushua. All right? So keep that in mind while I read this passage right here. John 15, 1 through 5, King.
John chapter 15 and verse 1. I am the true vine.
What did Christ say?
I am the true vine.
So he's the true vine, okay? Go ahead.
And my Father is the husbandman.
Uh-huh.
Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit.
Right. So we already had an understanding before we got here. We understood that Yahushua is that branch under the Most High, right? Now we're seeing that he says he's the true vine in verse 1 right here, okay? But then in verse 2, he said, every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he said, I'm going to take away. I'm going to destroy you if you're not bearing fruit. So we need to be bearing fruit as Israelites, right? All right? That good fruit. You shall know a tree by what? By its fruits, all right? The scriptures also tell us that men are trees, okay? So that's what we're dealing with. Go ahead and read verse 3.
Verse 3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can ye, except ye abide in me.
Cold line, because he said, guess what? The branch cannot bear fruit of itself. So he's also letting you know, I can't do nothing without the Father. All right? And guess what? We can't do nothing without the Father but through who? Yahushua. All right? So we got to remember that and keep that in mind. All right? Go to the next verse.
Verse 5. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, ye can do nothing.
So we can't do nothing, but guess what? If we stay locked in and tapped in with these commandments and this righteousness and this law and everything that was given to us that's holy and set apart, then we got a connection to the Most High, all right? And we will be those lively branches in that vine, all right? Let's get productive. Now what we're going to do, we know who that branch is, right? And we know who that vine is. Because look, at the end of the day, we're also those many branches and those many vines as well. All right? So now let's go back to Micah chapter 4 and 5.
Micah
Go ahead,
chapter 4 and verse 5. For all people will walk, every one in the name of his God. And we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever.
So if you pay close attention to this verse, it says God 2 times, right? I want everybody to look at their scripture. Thank you. Who do you think those small gods are? It's going to be us that's ruling over the other nations, all right? All praises. Clap it up. Real talk. The Most High actually really included us, all right? We are really co-heirs, all right? And we're going to get something, all right? Let me read that again, because I'm getting excited right now, for real, though.
Verse 5. For all people will walk, every one in the name of his God.
So all these people, the Most High, he's so cold and detailed, he's not even really recognizing the nations as anything special. You know what I'm saying? He didn't call them Israel. He didn't call them the apple of his eye. He just said they people. They nothing. You know what I'm saying? They're like spittle, like 2 Ezra 6 and 54 says, right? So he said, all these people will walk everyone in the name of his God, meaning we're going to have assignments in different sections and cities and continents to rule over, each men of the Lord. You see what I'm saying? All right? So I'm going to have an area, Most High willing. All right? Elder Karatazah going to have an area, Most High willing. Deacon Kanash going to have an area, Most High willing. Your guy going to have an area, Most High willing, and all of these men. And guess what? We're going to force the law on these nations, man, just like Yahushua is doing. All praises to the Most High. All right? What did the scripture say in Psalms 82:6? We are what? We say it. We are gods. Let's go. Let me get that real quick. All right? Then let's come back to that. It says we are gods. What case is it in, though? It's lower case, because the Most High has to make a separation. We always know that he's the big G. We're the little G, all right? So we're the mini-me's, but all praises to the Most High for that.
Psalms chapter 82 and verse 6. I have said, ye are gods.
We are what?
Ye are gods.
Uh-huh.
And all of you are children of the Most High.
So we're going to leave it right there, because we don't want the other part as far as dealing with, we die like men here where we're disobedient. But in the city of truth, we're going to be gods, and there's not going to be any death. There's not going to be any mourning, all right? So practice on rulership. The best thing to do, the best place to practice is ruling your own house. You see what I'm saying? And then coming in, and if the Most High has made you a leader, which in actuality, we're all leaders. Some of us got, higher titles and things like that. All praises to the Most High, different offices. A title is just really an office, okay? But listen here. You guys have leadership over the kids as well, right? All right? Us as men, we have leadership over the women and the nation. All praises to the Most High. So we're all make sure you practice. You see what I'm saying? Practice getting your rulership on. Practice making sure the kids in line. You know what I'm saying? Practice making sure they got their friends on. Let's get this practice in. So guess what? When we get to the kingdom, it's going to be second nature. You know what I'm saying? All right? And we're all going to have a role in this rulership. So let's go back to Micah 4 and 5 real quick, because we're dealing with a city of truth.
Verse 5.
Yeah, one more time.
Verse 5. For all people will walk, every one in the name of his God. And we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever.
So remembering that we're vines and branches, guess what? These other nations, we're their gods. But then we are going to walk under the banner of our God, which is the Most High through his son, Yahushua. All right, so it's always a head order regardless, all right? You got something you want to say, Hot?
No, I'm good.
All praises to the Most High. Now, let's go to Luke 19. We're going to deal with a quick parable. Luke 19, 11 through 19. All right? And I want to go through this little quick parable real quick because it actually precepts everything that we went over. It precepts Micah 4 and 5. All right?
Luke chapter 19 and verse 11. And as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was not to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of the Most High should immediately appear. Verse 12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return.
So verse 12 is written in red, all right? So Yahweh Shai is speaking in a, say it again, he's giving a parable, right? But who is he talking about in verse 12? He's talking about a nobleman, but actually that nobleman, he's talking about himself, okay? So read verse 13.
Verse 13, and he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come.
What'd he say?
Occupy until I come.
That's a cold line, all right? He called 10 servants, all right? And he delivered them 10 pounds. What are those pounds? Those pounds would be a weight or money that was used in Greece during the Greek captivity, all right? It had value. But when you transfer that and get the understanding in the spiritual sense, basically he's saying the gifts and talents that I've given you servants, I need you to go out and multiply that, all right? You guys got the understanding? Go out and multiply that. It's no different from me putting $20 in your hand, all right, and telling you to double that up or triple that up, all right, and bring that back to me in a week, all right? So the Most High, through his son Yahweh Shai, is saying, look, I gave you spiritual gifts and talents, okay? What are some of the spiritual gifts and talents the Most High has given us? All right, for us to be fruitful, but ultimately for us to do what? To go out and gather the lost sheep, right? In different ways, all right? So we got young brothers and sisters in this congregation that are doing excellent things as far as gathering the sheep in a unique way. One of them is called Blue Strip. These brothers put on their fringes, all right? You got the sister over there that's joined in with them, all right? And they cooking and doing the same thing that our people do in the world, but it's such a clever hook. It's such a clever spiritual bait to throw out there to our people because we living in the 21st century, all right? And we got to find different clever avenues to reel our people in. So what an idea that is, okay? Then he has teachers, then he has people that cook, and then he has counselors, and you know, I mean, we can deal with my brother, your guy right here. I mean, he's a jack of all trades. Whatever you need, he gonna help out, and so on and so forth. We got people making clothes in the nation. We got, I mean, it's the numerous talents, all right? We got the marketplace that the Most High brought up for us here at True Nation, all right? That's another clever way. It's not just doing business. It's a clever way to meet new Israelites coming in, plant a little bit of seed, all right, and hope that our people get what we're trying to do. What's another clever thing? What's coming up on Sunday?
Friends and family.
Friends and family, True Nation Day, all right? Another clever idea from our people to gather the lost sheep. So this is what we're dealing with. I had to break that down so you guys could really understand, all right? So this is what he's saying, occupy till I come, all right? Occupy yourself in these works and go gather my sheep. That's what he's saying, all right? If I gave you 1 talent, I'm going to need 5 back. If I gave you 5, I want that 10, all right? Read verse 14.
Verse 14, and his citizens hated him.
Read that again.
And his citizens hated him.
And that's the sad thing. A lot of our people don't want to take instruction from that nobleman, which is Yahweh Shai. They hate Yahweh Shai. They don't want to keep the Sabbath day, all right? They still want to go to the club, shaking their rump, doing this and that, committing fraud, committing all kind of heinous criminal activities, all right? But, you know, two-thirds of Israel is already prophesied to do that. Continue.
But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him, saying, we will not have this man to reign over us.
And that's the wrong thing to say, because if anybody knows Luke 19:27, I want you to give my elder this mic, because he's gonna precept this real quick. Your God. Get an elder the mic. Read that last part again, Huck. What did they say? What did the citizens say that hated that nobleman?
But the citizens hated him and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us.
Okay, we will not have this man to reign over us. Let's see what's going to happen to Israelites that don't want that noble man, Yahushua, the Son of the Most High, to reign over them. Go ahead, Huck.
And he said, the things which are impossible with men are possible with God.
Is that Luke 19 and 27?
Drop down and read verse
No,
27.
19 and 27. I'm sorry.
All right, because at the end of verse 14
Yeah,
here,
right. It says, but those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
right. So that's what he said to these Israelites or these citizens that don't want to obey. Read that again nice and loud for me. I appreciate you, Elder. 19 and 27.
Verse 27, but those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
So that's what we're dealing with to rebellious Israelites, all right? That's what the nobleman is saying. Read verse 15.
Verse 15, and it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading.
Now, Yahushua, he want his profit. What you got, all right? Because that ultimately, we're going to all get that question. How much you got? I know how much I gave you, how much you got. What's my return? What's my profit? Okay? Same thing if you're in sales, you know what we're talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 16, then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound have gained 10 pounds.
All right? So we got, he said, you gave me one, I gained 10. All right? 10 pounds or 10 talents. All right? I doubled you up 10 times. All right? I put in that work, Most High. Go ahead.
And he said unto him, well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in very little, have thou authority over 10 cities.
And that's what we're getting at. Authority over 10 cities. 10 cities where? In the city of what?
Truth.
In the city of truth. That's what we're dealing with. That's the point that I wanted to get to. All right? So he said, I gave you a little bit, but you came back and gave me a lot. All right? I gave you $1. You came back and did it 10 times over. All right? So he said, by doing that, guess what? Since you've been faithful with a little bit, have authority over 10 cities in my kingdom, in the city of truth. Continue.
And the second came, saying, Lord, thy pound have gained 5 pounds.
Right. So he didn't do as much as the other brother, but did he still make a profit? He said, you gave me 1 pound, I returned 5. All right? Next verse.
And he said likewise to him, be thou also over 5 cities.
Right. So he said, look, you flipped it 5 times, you're going to have rulership over 5 cities in this city of truth, right? Read the next one.
And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin.
Read.
For I fear thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou laidest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. And he saith unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant.
What did he call him?
Thou wicked servant.
Read.
Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required my own with usury?
Read.
And he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound, and give it unto him that hath 10 pounds.
Read.
And they said unto him, Lord, he have 10 pounds. For I say unto you, that unto every one which have shall be given, and from him that have not, even that he have shall be taken away from him.
So what is the moral of the story? That brother said, you know what? The pound that you gave me, I got to give it back to you. Here it is in a napkin. I wasn't able to flip nothing. I wasn't able to do nothing. And Yahweh Shai called him what? A wicked servant. All right? So is that wicked servant that doesn't bear fruit? How many cities is he going to rule in the kingdom? None. All right? So it's just a reminder for us to make sure that we're bearing fruits and doing these works. All right? Flip your pounds. Flip your gifts. Flip your talents. All right? So now let's go back to Micah 4 and 5 one more time, and then you already got the understanding. All right? And then we're going to move on. Micah 4, verse 4 and 5.
Micah chapter 4 and verse 4. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. For the mouth of the Lord of hosts have spoken it.
Right. So who is that vine and that fig tree? That it's us that are ruling under Yahweh Shai in the kingdom that are going to be teaching the laws and commandments to the other nations. All right, read.
For all people will walk, every one in the name of his God.
So the all people are the other nations that are going to be led by us as gods in the kingdom, okay? Specifically, dealing with the 144, but the 1/3 in general, all right? Go ahead.
And we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever.
Clap it up right there for the Most High, real talk. That's awesome. That's awesome to know that the Most High is including us in this rulership, man. All right, so we're going to move forward to the next precept. All right, I'm in good timing right now. So how are these other nations even going to get to the kingdom? Let's see. Isaiah 14. All right, it only makes sense that if you're ruling that you have to have servants to rule over, all right? Esau is ruling over the children of Israel and the other nations, okay? You have to have subjects to rule. Isaiah 14, you know what I want.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
So who are those strangers? The other nations, them. That's a good word. We're just going to call them them, all right? All praises. Read.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
I don't got to break that down, right? That's understood right there.
Clean cut.
Let's go to Isaiah 49. Let's get one quick verse on the kind of treatment we're going to get. Hey, this is cool. Yes. It's going to be of all the nations, all right? Esau is going to have a limited time to serve, though, all right? Yeah, he's going to eventually be destroyed, so he has a limited time to serve, all right? But we will be ruling over the other nations outside of Esau eternally, all right? Forever and ever. Right, your top? Khan, all praises. That's my
Esau
brother
gonna
right
serve
there.
hard labor,
Right.
for sure.
Esau is they gonna serve hard labor for 1,000 years, and then after that, it's not gonna be any of them. Period. We don't want to see any. You know what I'm saying? Let's get them a quick hard bondage 1,000 years, and then I don't want to see no more of them. You know what I'm saying? Ever and ever, like real talk. Thus saith the Most High. Isaiah 49 and 23.
Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 23.
Hold on before you read. My brother right here and a few other brothers, we always express how a lot of our other Israelite brothers in different congregations and camps, they kind of use this when they street teach, but this is actually going to be done in the kingdom. All right? So read that up.
Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 23. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers.
It says kings. Who are the kings of the earth right now? When you look at Russia, when you look at Europe, when you look at Iran and the Middle East, and right, it's the leaders, all right? All your you know, you got your billionaires all out there in Dubai, you know, your Ishmaelite billionaires, and, you know, what some of these, your Bill Gates,
Queen Elizabeth,
the
royal family,
right.
the Rothschilds,
Right, there you go.
you know, Rockefellers,
Yeah,
you know,
all right.
all of these wicked higher ups.
Right, so we're not talking about a little dusty, nobody Edomite walking that's dirty
We're not talking
on
about
the
trailer
street.
trash.
Right, no trailer trash.
trailer trash.
So read that again from the top.
And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers.
All right, so just like we used to take care of their children in captivity, our grandmothers and great-great-grandmothers, all right? We used to feed them and cook for them and rock their babies to sleep and all that. We got to get that back, right? It's only right, all right? It's only right that our women get their nails done and get pedicures and, you know, able to do this real quick. All praises to the Most High. Finish that up, though. What they going to do, huh?
They shall bow down to thee with their face towards the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. For they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
See, and we're waiting for this. And we're not going to be ashamed because the Most High is going to bring it to fruition, all right? It says that they're going to bow down with their face to the earth, all right? That's when the Most High is going to give our glory back. And our all praises to the Most High. We're going to be in full glory. He's going to, at this time, all the nations are going to know, like, dang, man, that's them right there. You know what I'm saying? But as long as they got us in sin, they said, look, we got them. You know what I'm saying? The Most High don't got they back when they in sin. You know, when you're dealing with Judas, 5:17 all the way down to 21, they already know the recipe to stay in rulership, which is to keep us in sin, all right, and breaking the laws. But once, time is ticking, all right? Time is ticking, and the closer we get to this kingdom, all right, you could almost feel it in the spirit, okay? It's not going to be too much longer, all right, when you're dealing with time as a whole, all right? I'm not saying it's going to be tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to be, but the way things are, it's like how much longer? Really, like how much longer is the Most High? I know it's smoke in his nostrils. He's looking down. He got to be tired of this. So I'm not sure how much longer, but it ain't going to be another 1,000 years. It ain't going to be another 500 years. And hey, I'm not going to prophesy, but I can't even see 100. That's kind of, you know what I'm saying? How many more strange things will be happening 100 years from now? What would this society look like with all the homosexuality that's being pushed? And I don't want to go off topic, but it's just think about that. I mean, it's crazy. Our kids can't even watch TV. So where was I at? That's all I needed, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the kind of treatment we're going to get. They're going to bow down their face to the earth, and they're going to understand and recognize and have to admit at that point, all right? It's not going to be any flack and slack and trying to resist. They're going to know, all right? So let's get Isaiah 66. Isaiah 66. We're going to go 22 through 24. Isaiah 66, and we're going to go 22. Anybody familiar with this passage? All right, we're going to get acquainted and familiar with it real quick.
Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 22.
Right.
For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain.
So the Most High said, I'm going to make a new heaven and a new earth. So we're dealing with the city of truth, all right? Because this has to go, this place here, Babylon. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass,
meaning it's going to happen, read,
that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord.
All right. All flesh, okay? Meaning our subjects as well. The people that we're going to rule over are going to worship as well, okay? But it says from one new moon to another and one Sabbath to another. So what is this ultimately saying? What are we going to be doing in the kingdom? Huh? We're going to be keeping the commandments. All the laws, everything that you're practicing right now. All right, Judges 5:11. We're practicing or rehearsing the righteous acts because this is the same thing that we're going to do in the kingdom. All right, we're not just going to stop all the feast days and everybody going to be riding bikes and fishing and, you know what I'm saying? No, we're going to be on a different spiritual plane, all right? Go ahead.
Verse 24, and they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh.
So we're going to see those disobedient Israelites and those that did not want to conform to righteousness, and we're going to be able to see their punishment and understand how blessed we are to be in rulership, all right, in the city of truth, all right? So that's a good thing right there that we're going to be able to avoid that, all right? So now, 2nd Ezra chapter 2. We almost done. I'm excited for the city of truth, man. I will be devastated if I'm not able to participate. How about you guys? Seriously, man. I really would. You know, I'm trying to put all, you know, it's a saying in the world, they tell you not to put all your eggs in one basket, right? Well, look, when it, go ahead and say it.
Them eggs is all in, huh?
Right.
Fact.
When it comes to this truth and trying to endure to the end and get this city of truth in this kingdom, all my eggs are in this one basket. All right? Con. Real talk. The whole doggone carton, man. All right, so, you know, moving forward, we're almost done, but let's hone in on this passage right here because this is a glorious moment. How many people want to hear good and faithful servant, job well done? All praises. All praises. I want to hear that. You want to hear that too, Ak?
Con.
Sure. So let's read verse 38. 2nd Ezra chapter 2, we're going to read verse 38. This is one of Bishop Izar's favorites. I know he got a lot of favorites, but this is one of his favorites, one of his go-to.
2nd Ezra chapter 2 and verse 38. Arise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord.
The number of those that be sealed in the what?
In the feast of the Lord.
How many know what being sealed is? Sealed in righteousness, meaning you just made the cut. Sealed in the feast of the Lord, all right? Let me ask you guys something real quick before I move on. Look, how many of you knew people who used to make it happen in the world? Movers and shakers. You know what I'm saying? They knew how to throw parties. They had money. You know what I'm saying? When they would invite you somewhere, how many times would you turn down that invitation? Be honest, though. All right, you'd be like, no, that's big boy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he big boy throwing a party. I really don't want to go, but I'm going to go tonight. It's big boy. He going to be mad if I don't come. Right? We all knew people like that, men and women, be honest. Yep, all praises. So how much more the feast of the Heavenly Father when he inviting you week after week, which is the Sabbath day, when he inviting you another one time at the beginning of every month, which is the new moon, all right? When he's inviting you for tabernacles, when he's inviting you to feast for Pentecost and Passover, all right? And inviting you to be in the spirit with him and during atonement, all right? So are we going to turn these feasts down anymore? Because it's an invitation that the Most High has given us. And a lot of our people is turning it down. And that's a bad look. When you read this verse right here, that's a bad look. Because he said, those who are sealed in the feast, all right? Go ahead. Read that again.
Arise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord.
And those number is going to be a small number. It's going to be a remnant according to the number of Israel, all right? Because the number of Israel is innumerable like the sand of the sea. Continue.
which are departed from the shadow of the world and have received the glorious garments of the Lord.
Right. So we've departed from the shadows of this world, all right? Not physically, but mentally and spiritually, all right? And also emotionally, all right? Go ahead.
Verse 40, take thy number of Zion and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord.
Right. Those that are clothed in white garments, that are fulfilled, that have fulfilled the law of the Lord. So the Most High, look, he gave us two stipulations. Keep the feast, but he said keep the law in general as well. All right? All praises to the Most High. He said, look, go ahead and read that, 41.
Verse 41, the number of thy children who thou longest for is fulfilled.
The number of the children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. The Most High is longing for his elect. He's longing for his bride to get it right so he can come back, so we can come back to him, all right? So he can show the earth his glory, all right? Long for. What do long for mean? Have you ever longed for something? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever desired or really, really wanted something? And guess what? You would save a number of paychecks to put away an amount weekly to get what you long for or desire, if it was on a material level. Even on a carnal level, you may have longed for a man or a woman back in the world when we didn't know any better. You said, man, I'm going to get that woman. I'm going to get that man. You know, that's what we used to do, all right? The Most High said he's longing for us. Does that not prick your spirit? Come on, Israel. Read.
Because the power of the Lord, that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed.
Right, that he may be set apart, that we may be set apart. The ones that he's called from the beginning, all right? Salvation is a gift that was given from the beginning, all right? It has to do with being ordained or selected from the beginning, all right? Go ahead.
Verse 42, I, Ezra, saw upon the mount of Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature.
Of what?
Of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly.
So Ezra having a vision, and he said he seen a man with a high stature, and he was placing crowns on people's heads, right? And then it said he was more exalted than the other people, meaning not just physically, but his glory was manifesting, all right? You ever been around a person that got a big aura or just naturally a big, you can't describe it. We call it aura, but they got a big spirit. It's just how the Most High made him, all right? That's what you're dealing with. Who is this man? Does any one of the women know? She already said it. My sister said it. It's Yahushua. All right? He's that man with that tall stature, man. All right? Continue out.
Verse 44, so I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these?
What are these? Who are these people? Read.
He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive psalm and palms.
Read.
Then I said unto the angel, What young person is this that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High.
Who?
It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord.
Right, because we know that there's a scripture that says, if you deny me in front of men, I'm going to deny you in front of the Father, right? So he said that these were those that confess the Most High in the world, and they stood so stiffly. meaning they weren't wavering. They wasn't going back into the world and trying to fight their way back and, you know what I'm saying? Going back into Islam again. They were set. They had their mind made up. And we already know a righteous man or woman may fall 7 times, all right, which is a complete number of times. But what do? The righteous get back up again, all right? So that's what we're dealing with. Go ahead, Doc.
So it says, then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. So even then it goes into us keeping these commandments, right? We come out of the world, right? Dealing with our family, right? We put off the things that we did in the world. We stopped celebrating holidays and we stopped doing the things that our family would have us do, you know. Some people are ashamed of that. You know, some people don't speak up for it. But if we speak up for it, that means we're standing stiffly for the Lord, right? If we're not wavering and doing what we're supposed to do for the Lord, because it's easy, it's our family. We grew up with them. Those are the people we've known all our lives, right? So it's easy for us to fall back in, but the Most High is like, look, you stand up for my word, you're going to get crowned, right? If you're not doing what the world do, what your friend do, you don't care what people say about you, you're not afraid to wear your fringes, right? You're not afraid to keep the commandments, keep the feast days, the holy days, right? And you confessing them before your family, before your friends, saying, look, I ain't coming to what y'all got going on. I'm serving the Lord. I'm wearing my fringes. I'm staying with my culture. I'm doing what my people do. I'm doing what Yahweh Shai told me to do. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, because I want to be crowned at the end of the day.
All praises to the Most High.
So
Please,
let's remember that. Be proud of your culture. Be proud of your heritage. Remember, this is who we come from, right? This is who we are at the end of the day.
Right. He went to another level as far as standing stiffly. It's not just vocally or verbally. It have to do with your actions and your obedience, all right? So good point, because we get tempted by our family members and things like that. And you'll be surprised how many of our people get swayed, all right? I've seen many people come and go my short time here, and I'm sure you've seen, you know, a lot more than I have. So I'm getting a PowerPoint set up.
Especially young people, though. You young, you coming to this truth, you in your 20s, you still tempted. You tempted to go back into that world and go into your same things, right? Your old ways. It's hard. It's hard, but we gotta endure to the end. If we endure to the end, we'll get that crown, right?
Yeah. Give me a second. While we're waiting, give me Isaiah 1:26.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 26. And I will restore thy judges as at the first, and thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterward, thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the city of righteousness, the faithful city.
The city of righteousness, the faithful city, the city of truth. He said, I'm going to restore your judges like as they were at the first, meaning at the beginning, all right? The counselors, the leaders, all right? Israel is a nation that needs leaders, right? All right? So Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Elijah, name a few for me, y'all.
Nahum, Obadiah,
Right.
Zechariah,
Habakkuk or Habakkuk, I'm sorry.
Habakkuk,
Yeah. I apologize.
Jonah,
Right. It's a scripture.
Nehemiah, all of them.
Yeah, so the leaders are going to be restored, man, and they're going to lead us in the right way, in the right path, all right? Revelation 21. I don't need it yet. I only need it when I get right here. Okay. So how do I don't want to accidentally have them see all of this. How do I go on that? It's already shown. So all I need to do is just let you know when I need to click on. So I'm not going to need it till verse 11. I'm reading Revelation 21 all the way through now. But I don't need this until 11. So what am I going to do? That's it? but what am I going to tell you to switch it from me? Like, just tell you. Con. All right, Revelation 21. Who knows what this chapter is about? Go ahead, D. Con. Or that city of truth, right? That kingdom. Con. The end of Esau and the beginning of Jacob. All right. Let's go out.
Verse 1.
Yeah.
Revelation chapter 21 and verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
Right. My brother had a wedding, all right? And, his bride was adorned, all right? And we are the bride of the Most High, so we need to make sure we got on our garments, our, accessories, and we got to make sure that we spiritually ready for the Most High because he's our husband, all right? Israel is indeed the bride of the Most High, all right? Read on.
And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them, and be their God.
Right. What is a tabernacle? It says the tabernacle of the Most High is with men. All right. What does the scripture say? The kingdom is where? It's within you. All right. It's within you before we actually physically get there and start ruling. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
How many people are tired of crying? Raise your hand. Seriously though, because I know a lot of we go through the most out of any nation. All right, we have went through a lot over the past, beyond 400 years. But this captivity is hell. All right, it's really not easy, and I understand that. All right, but I try to stay in the spirit and do a lot of smiling, but you guys already know the story. People who smile a lot, what? They actually go through a lot. You know what I'm saying? And that's not only me, but that's you too. Right. Real talk. All right? So we go through a lot. We've been through a lot of pain. We've been through a lot of death. All right? We lost a sister here in the congregation, but we're losing people in our family. We're losing them spiritually first. And then there are natural deaths as well. We're burying people as well. But then it says, we're sorrowing and crying. Just the energy it takes to survive in this hellhole. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Our people are signing up for this and signing up for that, this financial aid, this grant, this help, this housing help, this. The enemy is he's turning it up, all right? Look at the gas prices. How many people it hurts going to the gas station. It hurts going to the grocery store. Look at the price of milk. Look at the price of beef, fish. Everything is going up. So we getting these little stimulus checks, but it's not doing anything. My rent just went up again. It's like, God, dog it. Like, what the hell is so, our people are sorrowing and mourning, and you don't have to always shed a tear to do that. All right? Go ahead. No, go ahead. The elder wants to say something.
That's why it's so easy to remember that we are still in bondage. Okay? So we are still being ruled by Esau. Of course, the Most High is allowing that to happen. But it's all going to come to an end. But we have to remember that we are still in bondage. That's why that's why we are so depressed.
Con, all praises. Yeah, go ahead and say something. Appreciate that, elder.
Was that Ecclesiastes 5? It says those who love money will never have enough.
Con.
It's like it says how meaningless to think that wealth brings true happiness.
Con.
And I know some wealthy people, and it's like they they really depressed, man. And it look like they have everything you can imagine, and they have like 10 million, but they want 30 million, and they're depressed because they don't have that extra, several thousands of dollars to they're just never happy. So that scripture really hits home when you really think about it. What Solomon said it best. They said it's vanities of vanities.
Vanity of vanities, man. Ecclesiastes, real talk. But like you said, it's never enough for them. They spend 40,000 and they trying to, do something to make 80. So it's the scriptures already tell us that they're gonna be throwing their gold and silver in the street, man. So the dollar is declining. It's this place is finished. You know what I'm saying?
You could just go on social media and go to some of these pages like On Site, the Shade Room. You see all these scandals going on with these celebrities, and they got all these millions of dollars. And yet still they having relationship problems. You got a lot of them, killing their friends and, doing all type of horrific things. So, yeah, money ain't going to buy you happiness. Money, at the end of the day, like he said, we're going to throw our silver and gold in the street. It's going to get real. You're going to have to hop a fence to get food. It's a dog on the other side of the fence. What you going to do? You got to feed your kids. Right? So money ain't going, we got to have it right now, to do the things that we need to do to survive in this world. But soon it ain't going to be nothing. The dollar is losing its value day by day by day. So remember that. We're trying to get to the city of truth, paved with gold streets.
Say it again. Paved with what?
Paved with gold streets.
Hey, real talk. Can you imagine that though? Because we're in all over Beverly Hills, Mission Viejo. Somebody named some cities in London and all these different places, man. You know what I'm saying? That Esau have built here, and it's nothing compared to the kingdom. You best believe that the Most High is going to outshine anything Esau can create 1,000,000 times over. That's a fact. Bruh. That's a fact.
Greece, Santorini.
Right, Santorini.
Just, you see those places alone. Imagine the kingdom. You see, those places is nice. They look good. You're like, I want a vacation there. Right? Just imagine the kingdom, man. Imagine the kingdom.
All right, so we're going to drop down to verse 10.
Revelation chapter 21 and verse 10.
So here's John the Revelator. He's in the spirit. Let's see what he sees. Read.
And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain.
This kingdom, all right, is called a mountain, all right? Go ahead.
And showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from the Most High.
Yerushalayim. Jerusalem, Yerushalayim. That's the city I desire right there. All right. Read verse 11.
Verse 11. Having the glory of the Most High, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal.
So let's stop right there, because now we're getting a physical description of the city of truth, right? So let's just try to go in the spirit. Let's try to get where John the Revelator was, and really process and think about this. All right.
Close your eyes.
Right. Get the PowerPoint for me, King. Oh, praises.
Dim the lights.
So, yeah, let's dim the lights. Let's get in the spirit real quick, all right? So read that again.
Even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal.
Clear as crystal. So look at those crystals. How many women like crystals? Look at that. Can you imagine that, though? It says, having the glory of the Most High and her light. We're just dealing with the light that's going to be emitting from the kingdom, all right? We're not dealing with the sun. We're dealing with the lights that are coming from a crystal, all right? So how many crystals would it actually have to be to emit that amount of light, all right? Imagine that. Read.
Verse 12. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Right. 12 gates, 12 angels protecting those 12 gates, and the names written thereon were the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Beautiful. Read.
On the east, 3 gates. On the north, 3 gates. On the south, 3 gates. And on the west, 3 gates.
Uh-huh.
And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the name of the 12 apostles of the Lamb.
Man, so it's a lot of 12s we dealing with, right? All right, I know the Most High, he loves 7 and 12 and 40, but man, it's a lot of 12s right here. It said 12 foundations or 12 pillars, all right? And on them, the names of the 12 apostles, all right? You guys remember the 12 apostles, the disciples, right? That Yahweh Shai selected. Let's drop down to verse 18.
Verse 18. And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold.
The city was what?
Pure gold.
All right. Look at that. This is just a simulation that's man-made, but can you imagine? It says the city was pure gold, all right? As we read down, you'll see that it also says that the streets were made of gold. But not just the streets, the city, all right? Imagine this place built with 24 karat gold. How nice would it look? All right? It would be beautiful, wouldn't it? All right? Go ahead.
Like unto clear glass. And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones.
So what are these precious stones? Have anybody seen say it again, Ak? The ephod that the priests wear. And it has 12 precious stones, right? That's what we're dealing with. All right, so the walls would be those 12 stones that represent what? The 12 tribes of Israel. All right? So we're going to go slow as we read. That's what we're dealing with. Read 19.
Verse 19.
No, you can start at, you already started, start the first.
The first foundation was jasper.
Stop right there. Top left corner. Everybody look at the screen. Jasper. That's the first foundation of the walls. All right? All right, that's the first layer or foundation. Go ahead.
The second, sapphire.
So as you look up, you see the second is sapphire. Read.
And the third, a chalcedony.
Khan. I like that chalcedony. That looked pretty nice right there. All right. I like that light purple. I like that sapphire blue. Everything looking good. Read.
The fourth, an emerald.
An emerald. Look how green that is, man. And these are the precious stones that the walls of the city of truth are going to be layered with. Imagine that. All right? Read.
The fifth, sardonyx.
All right? They're in order on the screen, so we just going slow. Go ahead, read.
The sixth, sardius. The seventh, chrysolite.
Khan.
The eighth, beryl.
Look at that barrel, man. All praises. Read.
The ninth, a topaz. The 10th, a chrysophysis.
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 Khan.
The 11th, a jaspith. The 12th, a amethyst.
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 So, So yeah, that's the 12. So just imagine that. Just different layers, you know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily all jasper, then all sapphire, then they're gonna be mixed in. You might be looking in one area and you see all 12 and then gold and just hitting your eye. I mean, it's just incredible. All right? Who wouldn't want to inhabit a place like this, man? All right? Read 21.
Verse 21, and the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of one pearl. And the street of the city was pure gold, and as it were transparent glass.
So it says we already saw the gold aspect. The streets are gonna be gold, all right? The whole foundation, the city is gonna be made of gold. But how many people know where pearls come from? Where do they come from? Huh? Yep. All right. All praises. So it comes from. But look at this. Let me ask you this. Can we eat oysters? It's an unclean animal, but it's amazing how these pearls come out of these oysters, which is an unclean animal. I remember I was looking at something a while ago. You know, I was raised as a Christian. You know, I was an usher in a Christian church. I was in the the youth choir, and they told me that I was going to be a kind of like you. You know, you finna be a big time minister, and you gonna do good things for God, right? But I remember listening to this woman teacher, and she was describing I forgot what book it's in, but how the honey was in the carcass of a dead lion or something like that. Remember? So that brought me to mind, like how that was Samson. But it's crazy how clean things and things that are clean could be inside of things that are unclean. You see what I'm saying? And it reminds me, you know, it's very, very spiritual. He ate the honey out of the he ate the honey out of the dead carcass. Yeah, so it's crazy. And it's the same thing with us. We can be so rotten in the inside. You know how, you can look so beautiful on the outside. You know, a beautiful dress, a beautiful garment, brother with his beard, and inside you're spoiled. Your spirit is not right. We hate our brothers and we hate our sisters. But I don't want to move off of the lesson, but it's just that's what I thought about when you see these pearls coming out of these oysters and these clams and things of that nature. All right? But look at those pearls, man. All right? Diamonds and pearls. Look at that. That's also what we're dealing with in the city of truth, man. So let's read down to, we're almost done. Let's just finish this off. You got a precept?
No.
All right. Verse 22.
And I saw no temple therein, for the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it.
Right. So this temple doesn't need to be constructed by the hands of man. Amen. All right? The Most High is going to do all the work. Continue.
And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon, to shine in it, for the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof.
Imagine that. How much light do you think is emitting from the Most High? Just his glory and his whole being, his essence. Do you guys think you could look the Most High in the face? Nah. It'll probably be instant death, like real talk. You know what I'm saying? Just looking at his glory, like trying to, I tried to look at the eclipse a few times. And if you look too long, your eyes will start really hurting. That's one of his creations. How much more the Heavenly Father sitting on his throne in his glory? You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure even the heavenly celestial bodies got a hard time. They up there like, man, like trying to praise the Father and just you can't really do it. There you go. Precepts coming out. Let's get John 8 and 12 real quick. We almost done. I thought this would be a quick one, but the Most High has a way of kind of directing the program, so my apologies. John 8 and 12 real quick.
John chapter 8 and verse 12. Then spake Yahushua again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world.
What'd he say?
I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
So we already know Yahushua off the rip said, I'm the light. So why would it be a surprise that this kingdom that's to come, the city of truth, it doesn't need a moon to rule by night. It doesn't need a sun to rule by day, like here. All right? We got the Most High in Yahushua. We got the light. All right? And then what's another word for the light? You know what I'm saying? We got them in their literal being in essence and glory. All right? But what else is the light? The law. All right? Continue. Let's go back to Revelation 21. Pick up at 24.
Verse 24, and the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it.
So the kings of the earth, they got a little glory. What's their glory? All the riches and possessions that they stole from us. So we're going to get that back too. All right? Go ahead.
And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there.
Right. It ain't no nighttime. All right? Light is always going to be emitting on a spiritual level. All right? Go ahead.
And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it.
Uh-huh.
And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abominations, or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life.
But only they that shall have entrance into the city of truth is those that are written in the Lamb's book of life. Amen. All right? There's not going to be any defilement, any working of abominations, any liars and anything that, you know what I'm saying, iniquity and sin. You can forget that. No mistakes. Right. No mistake. All right? So all praises to the Most High. You got anything before we close? Man, with that, we're going to say Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad, in-house and online. And let's get ready to take the city of truth.